Hi guys, my name is Zoe and welcome to our 2025 Winter Intensive Book Club syllabus review. So in this intensive, we'll be focusing on two main parts. So let me start with the first part, which is IB Paper 1. So this would involve on seeing text commentary. Here you'll be learning how to carefully read as well as analyze various types of texts. It could be both literature and non-literature text, such as advertisements, speeches, poems, satirical cartoons, and so on and so forth. Here we'll be working on identifying key lit features, writing strong thesis statements that a lot of students tend to struggle with, as well as your structuring of commentary and managing your time under exam conditions. So here we'll be using a range of past papers ranging from 2010s to early 2020s to practice and review your analysis skills. So the second part is literature analysis. So here we'll be analyzing characters, themes, techniques, symbolism, settings, and more. So in this part, we'll be reading and exploring major texts, such as Romeo and Juliet, The Giver, Of Mice and Men, The Outsiders, To Kill a Mockingbird, and last but not least, Wilfred Owen's poems. So these works are frequently studied in pre-IB syllabus levels, and analyzing them will give you a really strong foundation for higher level literature study. So here we'll be focusing on themes, context, character development, multiple analysis aspects that is covered in pre-IB and IB syllabus. And also each topic will come with detailed class notes, and by the end of the course, I'm sure you will have built the tools that you need to approach the text with confidence. Okay, so with that in mind, let's jump into the sample literature analysis together. So here we'll be focusing on character analysis from J.B. Presley's play An Inspector Calls. Okay, so the question we're going to look at today is this, which is a character analysis question. How is Sheila Burling, portrayed in the play? Right, so this is a classic question because Sheila is one of the most dynamic characters of the whole text. So when we do a character analysis, what's important is that you have to take the perspective of the author. What your job essentially is when you write the literature analysis essay is that you're convincing your audience. You're convincing your audience your analysis is right. So your job is to leave the audience without any doubts, without any criticism, of what you're saying. So therefore, in order to achieve that level of persuasion, you must be achieving multiple different aspects in your essays. You should have a good flow. You should have a concrete structure that goes from a point evidence analysis to link back, as well as a relatively deep level of analysis. Okay, so in class, we'll plan a sample planning together, such as like so. And for homework, you will be writing an essay based for this exact same question, based on the planning that we have written together in class. And then for that written essay, you will receive feedbacks from in the next lesson. The feedbacks will be in clear and precise comment format so that when you write the next essay, you can have a look at the feedbacks that you got for the previous essay and focus on the aspects that you're weak on. So unlike math, where you have a clear understanding of what you like and what you're weak on, I think it's a bit difficult for English because it's difficult to get feedbacks. Tailored feedbacks, especially from your school teacher, given that they have so many students to look after. But nonetheless, what's really important when you want to improve your writing is that you must know which part you're weak on and which part you're doing wrong. Because we all have our own unique writing style that is resistant to change. And therefore, we must strive to focus on the aspects that we're weak on so that our essay writing skill matches what the rubrics require. Therefore, coming back to the main point, it's really important that you get detailed feedbacks and then you actively utilize those detailed feedbacks in your writing. Okay, so coming back to our essay format, this is what a typical planning would look like. So what we would do is that this planning would be compiled by through active discussion. So I won't be sitting there typing this by myself. We will each have turns in terms of discussing what we think and why we think using evidence from the text. So what we will first do is that we'll divide the planning into clear structure, introduction, body 1, and conclusion. Typically, it will range up to body 3, but for the time's sake, we'll be covering body 1 and 2 only in this demo video. So firstly, for the introduction part, what is introduction? What do we have to cover in introduction? So firstly, we would have to discuss the essay question itself, how is Sheila portrayed in the play? A large mistake that quite a bit of students make is that they start up with this essay question straight away. Again, that is a pre-IGCSE, pre-IB level mistake that you're making. The question itself should be included in the thesis statement. What was the thesis statement? Thesis statement is like a trailer to your whole essay. It's a summary of what the audience should expect. It provides a guiding map, like a roadmap, when the audience looks or reads your essay, bearing in mind what they're expected to see. And therefore, it is very important that you are able to comprise a specific, detailed, clear, well-structured thesis statement. So after this thesis statement, well, before this thesis statement, let me rephrase. You should have multiple other aspects in the introduction part. You should have the background. So what are we talking about? Who is Sheila Burling? Who is this character in the whole setting? And also any necessary definitions. In this case, is not applicable, but there are multiple essay questions where definition is required. And in those cases, definition should be included in the introduction. So for body 1, oh, and by the way, there's nothing to worry whether you're completely new to this sort of literature analysis or you have some experience with it, because we'll be starting from the very foundational step. At the very first lesson, we'll be going through all the foundational approach to these sort of literature analysis essays. So yes, so that being said, if we come back to body 1, so in the body 1, we're talking about the first aspect that answers this essay question. Another mistake that I want to flag that I see quite a bit of students making is that they have significant overlap between their body 1 and body 2s. So that means that in body 1, let's say you're talking about this topic of A. And in body 2, ideally, you should be talking about B or C, but a lot of students, they talk about A-A. So essentially, your essay becomes very repetitive, very redundant. So in class, we'll be avoiding those sort of commonly made mistakes. Again, everything is done through active discussion. It is okay if you're not 100% confident because I'll be there to guide you. Okay, so moving on. So for everybody, we should be using PEAL structure, point evidence analysis link back structure. So the reason to have a solid structure is that, again, our job is essentially to persuade the audience in a logical manner that your analysis is correct. So if we go to body 1, we have a topic sentence. Again, just like the thesis sentence, topic sentence essentially encapsulates what we will be talking about in the body 1. And then we use evidence, such as the evidence that we got here, to support your topic sentence. Another exercise that we'll be doing in lessons is finding quotations. A lot of students struggle to find quotations. Firstly, they have never done it pre-IGCSE, pre-IB level. Secondly, even if they're able to find a quotation, they are highly likely to superficially analyze it and then move on. again, remember, one thing that I really want you to take away from this is we absolutely hate superficial analysis. We should highly avoid making those mistakes. That is because superficial analysis does not take you above or beyond a level 5. It's very important that you go into step-by-step analysis. So it is the reason why it's called step-by-step analysis is that you're going from evidence into analysis 1, like so, and you're changing this analysis 1 into analysis 2, like so, bringing you onto a deeper level of analysis, which the rubrics emphasize. So having said that, let's zoom into this quotation analysis. So firstly, ask yourself, why is this line important? Why is it worthy of us to analyze a specific quotation? Because it shows genuine remorse and moral growth of Sheila. That's what we are looking for according to the essay question. So here in this, after the threshold of the scene, Sheila is no longer making excuses. What she's doing is that she's confronting her actions as well as their consequences. So again, think about why it is worthwhile to be talking about this. Think about how it contrasts with other characters. For example, let's bring her parents in. They hold a significantly different perspective from Sheila, as being shown in this quotation. They continue to downplay or deny their responsibility. And how does this link to Presley's message? In this contrast that we see, contrast between Sheila and her parents, what's one message that Presley is trying to convey? Again, here we're coming directly to answer the topic sentence as well as the essay question. So we could argue the essential message that Presley is trying to convey. So the whole reason of composing this play in a sense is that he's trying to say change is possible only when people reflect on their behavior. So again, we're tying everything into the bigger picture, which is the ultimate message that the author is trying to convey. So by tying quotation to the whole of the message that the author is trying to convey, aka the topic sentence, we're directly linking to the thesis statement, which in turn directly answers to the essay question. So that is a sample demo lesson in terms of what we would be doing in the winter intensive class. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the day, and I hope to see you in class soon.